We are seeing the future right now. Everybody, their grandma, their pastor, and their child is becoming a content creator. And you may be saying to yourself, I need to be making videos. But you also might be saying to yourself, I don't know what I'm doing. But the good thing is most people don't know what they're doing. So I made this video to help give you a few tips that can up your game. Also, there is a download that you can download, and that goes more into depth into what I'm going to be talking about on this video. What I am going to be talking to you about in this video is the quality you need to be concerned about, composition, a little bit about lighting, and I'm also going to be talking about content. So let's start with quality. Do you need an expensive camera? No. Your smartphone is good enough. There have been multiple award-winning feature films shot on smartphones. It's going to do the job, but the thing you probably should be thinking about getting if you want to make good videos is an external microphone. I use a shotgun mic. No camera has a built-in microphone that is really good enough to do the job to make quality video. So get yourself an external microphone. More on that in the downloads. Now, one of the things you want to consider when you're making a video is your background. You don't want your background to be boring. This is a really boring background. You don't want your background to be cluttered. You don't want your background to be distracting. You want to have an interesting background. This is a pretty good background, but that might be a little distracting to some people. Now, I like to make videos outside because that's a little more interesting. But also, you can do, as I started to demonstrate before I even said it, is the walk and talk. So you're walking, you're talking, and you're explaining your really interesting idea as you're walking and talking, and just this dynamic background. It makes everything seem so exciting and so dynamic as you're going along. It's, oh man. Some people like to record themselves while they're sitting in their car. I really don't understand the purpose of this. Other than perhaps it's the only quiet place they can find, and the only place with halfway decent acoustics that they can find. Now, okay, if it's the only place that you can find, by all means, record in your car. However, can we please agree? Oh no, you can see my microphone. Can we please agree that you should not make videos while you're driving? If we shouldn't be texting while we're driving, we should not be driving and then constantly looking at our camera and discussing our whatever the hell it is we're trying to pitch at that moment. Okay, that's my rant. This is a good location, nice natural light, pleasant but not distracting background. But let's go back to the mountain. Okay, another thing that's important to remember when you're making a video, especially if you're doing it yourself and you're using a selfie mode or using a web camera on a computer, is that you need to look at the camera. Do not look at the screen. Do not look at yourself. I know it may be difficult, but look at the camera. Now, when we talk about composition, we're talking about how we're framing the subject, or you're framing yourself in this case if you're on the selfie mode. Now I'm going to violate the very thing I just told you not to do. I'm going to look at myself in the screen so that I can actually pay more attention to what I'm doing. First of all, so we're framing yourself. Put yourself in the center of the screen. Now, there's the rule of thirds, there's the golden ratio, there's all this kind of composition stuff, and that's all fantastic. And normally, yes, consider those things. But if you're talking to the camera, you are the focus of the video. Put yourself in the center. Now, this is your close-up. I realize it may be uncomfortable. I mean, I assure you that I am way less bald in person. And so it may not be the most comfortable thing to be having a close-up on you, but this is your close-up. You are the focus. Center yourself and get close. Now, if I wanted to shoot some B-roll of myself, this is certainly better, but still, if I'm going to be talking directly to the camera, directly to you, the viewer, I want to be close to the camera. This is about as far away as I want to be from the camera, and probably more like this is a better framing. Okay, now, when you're talking to the camera, do not hold the camera above you, and do not hold the camera below you. Now, I don't want to go too in-depth into why this is, but film language means this. I have power over you. I'm looking down on you and trying to dominate you. This is you have power over me. You are looking down on me. I am weak. Now, if we're making a video, we want to be on the same plane. We want to be equals. This feels more comfortable, okay? We are equal. We are connecting on an equal plane. So hold the camera level. Now, also, don't have a bunch of space above your head. Don't cut the top of your head off. This is especially true if we're in a vertical mode. Do not have actually it's somewhat interesting to have that much space above my head now, although it's distracting. Now, I certainly don't want to cut off my face and have you be looking, that's a terrible composition. You don't want to look at me like this. I look very strange. So if you're shooting a vertical video, again, get it close to you, fill up the frame. Now, there are some reasons, legitimate reasons to be shooting vertical video. Facebook Live, maybe you're making something for Instagram. If you don't know why you're shooting a vertical video though, shoot your video horizontally. Almost all the screens that we watch your video on are going to be set up for this frame. Okay, I want to talk to you a little bit about lighting. One way to have nice lighting is to have natural lighting. It's another reason I like to do videos outside, but you got to be careful things are not too dark or too bright. Thing to remember, your camera does not have as sensitive eyes as you do, and so if it looks good to you, it still might be too bright or too dim for your camera. Now the sun is actually in front of me, but because there's clouds in front of the sun, diffusing that is giving me a nice overall even lighting. And that's sometimes what you want to go for, nice overall even lighting. Sometimes you might want to go for a more dramatic, cinematic lighting. Now if you want some nice natural lighting, but you also want it to be a little more dramatic, sit inside, sit by a window, so you have the light on the window side, and then you have some more shadows on that other side for some more cinematic contrast. Now, do not look into the sun while filming. One very obvious reason being that you can end up with some very terrible shadows. The other reason is because then your subject, or you, if you're filming yourself, has to squint and you look like an idiot. Or Clint Eastwood, but probably an idiot. Now I might want to shoot with the sun right behind me if I am going to try to do something sort of interesting with that light, but usually for most video, I'm really highlighting. Look, I'm a saint. Usually you do not want to film with the sun behind you because it is going to be way too bright and just ruin the image. Now, another thing I want to talk to you about is editing. I didn't say I was going to talk to you about editing, but that's the thing about editing. With editing, you can use multiple cameras, make the video more interesting, make it look like you have two cameras, even when you don't. Also, you can add some nice transitions, like remember that little zzz. You can also edit out mistakes. Spice up the video with a little B-roll. It's nice to not be focused on the speaker the entire time. And if you record your sound separately, you can even do stuff like this. That brings us back to content. The most important thing is authenticity and honesty. Your videos do not have to be polished. They do not have to be perfect. They do need to be authentic, or they need to feel authentic. Is there a difference? Yeah. Be authentic. Be honest. If you're not being honest, don't make videos. At least that's what I think. Find a niche that you're passionate about. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to know everything. Have a desire to learn and a desire to help others. And that's what really matters. That's what really matters.